Hi everyone, welcome to Saturday, another live stream. Stream number 29. Wow, that's actually really cool. Big hi to everyone in the chat. There's a few people in there already, and also a big hi to our callers over here. We're just going to quickly fade that in. Oh, looks like I need to fix the bottom right hand corner. So we've got no Dazza tonight, but we'll sort that out. We can put chatties in there instead. How you going, guys?
Hello.
Nice one. Yeah, good.
Awesome. We might put, where are we? Which one is guest? I always get this wrong. Guest 2, guest 3. There we go, that's the right one. And we'll put this here so it says chatties. I'll work it out later. I can't find it. It's a massive, huge list of things that I need to put in there. We'll call the chatties Dazza for now. Anyway, how's everyone been? What have we been up to? It's been a week. It's been pretty busy for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, I'm been constantly working on all my tracks, album, EP, random tracks to go out. Yeah, not had a chance to do anything else. Not looked at any info. Nothing. Just in here. Every moment I get, I've just been in here.
Oh, it's good, but at least you're productive and you're getting stuff done. And Inky, we haven't seen you for a while.
I've been too busy listening to Darren's tracks to be productive. They're brilliant.
Yeah. That's a good answer. So you've been also busy with family as well. So that's also a good excuse, I think, getting some family time in.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to know this force, really. Yeah, setting up the studio a lot.
Yeah, it looks good. I like the new camera angle. I think the chatties would probably agree. We've got a nice different camera angle from Inky, and she's sitting down for a change. So this will be good. Fabulous. And big hi to Michael, who was on the stream last week, and Xils-labs is in there, and 888 Berg as well. So g'day to you people, as we call it in Australia. You people, g'day. Anyway, what have we got on this week, guys? Well, there's a little bit of stuff happening. It's not just going to be a boring stream. I was hoping to have something for you. Well, I think the title gives it away. We're going to be doing vocoders, and 888 Berg, that's all your fault. You're to blame for that. I've got some stuff set up. As usual, we'll be doing that a little bit later after our normal segments. So what we like to do is if you're new to the stream and you're watching for the first time, we like to talk about geeky stuff about synthesizers, sequencers, drum machines, Eurorack, samplers, anything that's kind of music related. And we kind of go off on massive tangents, but get used to it. Anyway, firstly, we'd like to do a little segment called the funny side, and let's roll the stinger and get into it. Fabulous. Here is the funny side. And look, normally I do memes in here, and this one was it's going to be hard to explain this. Okay, so Behringer have been a bit weird on social media, and I don't know if you guys, Darren and Inky, if you've been following it at all, but they've been posting stuff, and this post came up where it was like a photograph from God knows when, 1960s maybe. And I really have no idea what it was about. But anyway, so the next caption that came up was, "Can you find Yuli?" This is off Facebook, right? You can see it's Behringer's Facebook site, and it says, "Can you find Yuli?" And some of the replies was just insane. Like, I'll go back to the photo. It was, there was just a whole bunch of kids doing weird stuff, girls doing handstands. I don't know. It's just a bit weird. You can see the photo behind, but some of the replies are, just out of the shot, cloning something. It was hilarious, and these sort of things just kept going. And this was actually real. This wasn't a meme or anything like that. But this was the funniest reply. This was, "Yes, Yuli is the guy that's looking through the window on the left." If you can see him, but oh my god, that was in the photo. Look, I'll go back to the original photo. Someone's picked that out of the photo. Look at that. And I think that stole the internet for a couple of minutes, that one. But anyway, if you actually do happen to know who Yuli is, and he's the CEO of Behringer, and apparently he's in that photo somewhere. I actually never did get the answer, so someone in chat might be able to let us know that one anyway. Moving right along, I just thought it was kind of bizarre. So anyway, moving right along.
It kind of looked like him as well.
It did a little bit, yeah. This one I actually did a meme this week. I was being a bit naughty. There's a group in Facebook called Synth Memes, and it's run by someone that we all know. Anyway, there was a lot of posts by Bo Beats in there, and we thought we'd kind of egg him along a little bit. And he was talking about Trump, and I said, "Have you ever heard of Trump cards?" And if you're a kid of the 70s and 80s, you would have heard of Trump cards. Anyway, this is a Trump card that I came up with that's synth rated, and if you do get this particular Donald Trump card, you get free analog versus digital posts that you can put on your meme Facebook group, and you get up to 80, and you get extra bonus points if you include Bo Beats Electron fanboy posts. So this is all just a bit of humour. This was all approved by him, by the way, so this is all good. And then there's this thing about, apparently that it's a thing called Volker up the bum. I don't really know what it means, but you get to have 20 free likes on any Volker up the bum post, and actually get bonus points if you post something that's already been posted before, because everyone loves seeing a meme that's already been posted a couple of times, don't they? So I'm just being a little bit sort of tongue-in-cheek there, a bit of sarcasm. So there you go, Trump cards. If you didn't get it, you can contact me later and I'll explain it in more depth. Moving right along. This one's for you, Darren. I thought this looked like your studio.
I wish I had that much vinyl.
Oh, I thought that was brilliant. I had to show you that because it almost let's go to a picture of Darren right now. Don't you reckon it looks a little bit like that?
I've got my vinyl stuff here.
He's got his vinyl. Let's go back to it, and then there he is there, and there's the meme I found. I mean, that's just uncanny. Someone's drawn that too. That's pretty good, actually. Anyway, how bad were they this week, guys? Did anyone get the Behringer stuff? That was kind of weird, wasn't it?
That was very odd.
I really didn't know how I was going to communicate it to you guys, but I just thought it was just bizarre. Like this photo from the 60s or whatever it was, and they're saying, "Can you find him?" It was just hilarious. All these replies, like someone's cloning him, and oh geez, it was good. Anyway, moving right along, because you can't hear the chatties laugh. It's a bit sad. We're going to go into news now. There's a big news thing this week, so let's roll the stinger. We're going to blow the internet with this news. If anyone hasn't heard, there's actually some firmware that somebody, and when I say somebody, I don't mean Korg. Somebody has written, a guy called Pagan, who I'll reveal in a minute who that is, and he's written a hacked firmware for the Volca FM. Now, if you guys have a Volca FM, this is actually really, really good, because this is actually probably one of the best Volcas they ever made. Because you can put DX7 patches on it, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest issue they had with this, it never had velocity if you plugged a MIDI keyboard into it, which really sucked. So this guy has actually fixed the velocity on MIDI input. Now, between today and when Korg released this Volca, there was actually some workarounds to get velocity working on a Volca FM. You could buy a retro kits cable, which pretty pricey, but they were really good at what they did. I came up with a solution where you could use a MIDI power, MIDI Bro, MIDI Gal, those sort of MIDI things. I've shown you guys on the stream before what those things are. And you can use your DAW and do some MIDI filtering and things like that. There's always workarounds, but the actual box itself, all Korg had to do was fix the firmware. And this guy's done it, and he's, and it's not Korg. But anyway, having said that, I've got a treat for you guys. Don't jump off to my channel now and have a look at the video, but I have released a video on my channel, and I'll just play you the little intro so you can see what's... Well, hi everyone, this is another video about the Volca FM, and this time we're going to show you an unofficial firmware that's been released in the last 24 hours. and this is going to make everyone who's a Volca FM excited, so stay tuned and check it out. So there is the video. You guys can check it out after the stream if you're a Volca FM person. If you're not a Volca FM person and you want to know how to update your firmware and Volcas, that might be interesting for you as well. Other than that, we'll move on to the next Muse articles. Ready, set, go. This one. Who has GeForce software? Everyone probably knows Dave Spears from Sonic State. Well, he's not from Sonic State, he's from GeForce, but he's on Sonic State. I like Dave, he's a good bloke, and always gives me a laugh. And I've had this VSM, or Virtual String Machine, VST, it's software, for a while. Any of you guys got the Virtual String Machine? Anyone in the chat got it? Just out of curiosity? You can
No,
scream.
unfortunately, I haven't.
Nobody's got it? Okay, that's all right. We're not going to punish you for not having it. That's completely fine. But what we will do is we will play a little video about what it is. It's an update, and I've just had a look at the update. I was talking to Darren before the stream. It's a 4 gigabyte. Did I say 4 or 5? I think there's 5 gigabyte update, wasn't it, Darren?
Yeah, 4 or 5, yeah.
So that's a
So it's not
massive
gonna take
amount
5
of sampling that they've gone and done, and it's free. So if you've got virtual string machines, this is free. So let's have a look at what Dave and the guys at GeForce are talking about. So you can actually hear it. This is it. Now just pause it for a sec. While you're listening to this, the big update with this is that they've recorded all of the string machines that have stereo output. They've re-recorded them with stereo output. So before it was mono, and obviously you could add effects and make it, whatever. But now these are full stereo streams from the samples. So let's go back and just prick your ears for a second and just have a listen. Not bad for a bit of software, I reckon. Get a quick comment from you guys. What do you think of that? Virtual string machine. If you've never seen it before, now you have.
It sounds very lush. I like it.
Yeah, it does sound nice.
Yeah, in terms of sampling, these things are spot on. Like I've heard the Eminent. I think it's the Eminent 310 that Jean-Michel Jarre used to use, which is an old organ, which he used the famous Oxygen string sound on that. And it sounds identical. So they've gone to a lot of trouble. These guys are really good at doing sampled-based instruments. So there you go. All right. And what are the chatties saying? I don't know, it's probably about 30 seconds behind tonight. I don't know why. It's a bit weird. I'm using the new, for those who want to know, I'm using the new, YouTube have created all this new stuff, right? There's new streaming platform, and there's a new studio beta, it's called. Some of the stuff I don't really like, but I'm trying the new streaming thing out. It seems to be working, but it's also seems to be a bit more delayed. But anyway, moving right along to the next, where are we? News, aren't we? And I need to get the next one up. And this is the last one, so I won't bore you anymore. Beninky, I thought you'd enjoy this one. Novation have been busy. They've brought out 2 new products, and you can't really see them there. So I think maybe we might head on over to their website and have a look. Now there was a video I could play, but I think it might I might not really do it because it might get me in trouble. It's not actually a Novation video, someone else has done it. Anyway, so introducing the new Launchpad X and the new Launchpad Mini. And the new Launchpad Mini is, did I say Launchpad? There you go, I've got a new product. The new Launchpad Mini is the Mark III, if you're wondering which version that is. Do you guys know about this? Has anyone been paying attention to the news?
Yeah, I've seen this, yeah.
Okay, so what's new about it is velocity and pressure sensitive RGB pads. They reckon that they've redone the pads. So I'm going to go back to this picture again. So I don't know what was wrong with the previous pads. I thought they were pretty good, but they've done them again. And yeah, USB-C connectivity, which is big, and it's all what do you call it? Class compliant USB, so no drivers. And there's also sort of editing things and things like that. So it actually kind of looks a bit sleeker, less kind of bumpy on the pads. Can you see that on the picture there? Kind of looks sleeker. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of more information. You guys need to check it out on your own. That's not for my job. I'm not getting paid by Novation, so they can have a little quick plug for the. Are you guys excited about the new launch pad, Inky? What about you?
What's quite good about these is you can hook them up via MIDI, USB and MIDI, and you can use that. They've got quite a good volume trick on them, haven't they? Where you hit a pad and it goes down slowly, or the harder you hit the pad, the quicker the volume goes down.
Yeah, it's like the velocity curve on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
pretty cool.
Quite good. Yeah, if you got to learn that in a live setup. But it's really for Ableton, isn't it? Really, that's the advantage of it. It's a great little Ableton controller. Yeah, they come bundled with a bunch of stuff. Actually, they come bundled with Ableton Lite, of course. You know, it's the free version. Still better than nothing. And a range of plugins by AES, Excellent Audio, Clev, Grand, and Softube. 2 months free subscription to Splice, which is that sampling library, and a membership of Sound Collective. I haven't actually checked out Sound Collective. Any of you guys use Sound Collective?
Nope.
Yeah, sometimes they bring these people to the hardware, and I've never heard of them. So I'm sure they're big, but I'm just not into that game. So I'm sure someone will say, "Oh wow, that's really cool." But yeah, there you go. Launchpad Mini and Mark III, and the new Launchpad X. Yeah, and I wonder, Inky, if they'll be bringing out a new Launchpad XL with the faders and stuff. If they're going to do that with the Launchpads, because it's been a while since they brought out a Launchpad XL, isn't it? With the faders.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do that at the same time. So,
sorry, Launch Control. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Launchpad. Launch Control, I meant to say. Yeah.
Or not even that. They do the Launchpad Pro, don't they?
Yeah, there's a Launchpad Pro as well. Yeah, which I'm sure.
Which they didn't update. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that.
There wasn't any information about those, but yeah, we could sort of see if we can ask Calc or someone, see if he'll know. Get some inside knowledge.
Oh, he doesn't give anything away. I've asked him loads of stuff, and he never breaks, that man.
Fantastic. So just a quick catch up to the chatties. What do we got here? Barramundi's there. Big hello to Barramundi. I don't know if I said hello to Axelsoft. I think I did. And if I've missed anyone, you can shoot me. For those playing along at home, grab yourself a beer. It's probably a bit early for some and a bit late for me, but I'm having a beer. There we go. Cheers to everyone. So let's get on to the next segment, which is our eBay scammers, and I'll tell you about it in a sec. Let's play the next. That was my phone buzzing. Hi and welcome to the eBay Scams Deals of the Week, Crazy Used Gear Prices, brought to you by me. No. Synthi AKS, the EMS, British company, been making the famous EMS synths. 29,214 Australian dollars if you want a AKS. Now, that is not a scam. Okay, I'm just letting you know. This no, it says scammers, but underneath it also says used gear deals. Sometimes they're just overpriced, but I'm sort of thinking this is starting to get a bit crazy. You know, 29,214 Australian dollars in US is about 20,000 US. I just think that's a little bit over. Sorry. What do you guys think? Is that Is that a bit much?
Well, if you pay that for it, you definitely need to get your use out of it. That's so.
If you pay that for it, you'd want it to do a bit more than make bloop 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 sounds, wouldn't you?
That would be your studio, wouldn't it? You couldn't afford anymore. That would be it.
That'd be your studio.
At least you could take it around. It's carryable.
It's carryable,
you know.
but you wouldn't be able to put it in your car because you wouldn't have a car anymore because you'd have to sell it to pay for it.
That'd build a whole wall of modular.
Oh my goodness me! I mean, these things are great. They sound amazing. They're actually pretty difficult to learn how to program as well. Just saying that, but yeah. Anyway, I'll go to the next one.
Do they sound £20,000 worth of amazing? Because is it monophonic? Even I bet it's monophonic.
Yeah, monophonic.
Yeah.
3 oscillators, I believe. I can't remember what's on the actual AKS. I think it's 3 oscillators, monophonic, and I mean, there's only so many knobs you can see there. It's not that huge. Anyway, let's move on to the next one because this one's massive. And I put this one up for a reason. This is not a scam. I'm making that up clear up front. But a lot of people say to me, you can never ever see CS80s for sale. Now, this is a real sale. I think that weren't there only 700 CS80s ever made? Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, or 700 and something. But if you want to buy a CS80, this one's in the US. This is one in Malvern, Pennsylvania, in the United States of America. CS80, and it's all been restored and been serviced. Oh, they always say that, but anyway. 38,459 Australian Aussie dollars. So for those playing along at home, want to know what that's worth in American? I just Google it.
2,000 shipping.
Yeah.
It's rounded up then, isn't it, to 40 grand?
Yeah. 40.
Yeah.
There, it kind of gets there. 26,361 US dollars. $26,000. I remember there was a CS80 only a couple of years ago for about 10,000. So these things just seem to be going up, 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 up. I think they're starting to become a bit dangerous now. What do you guys think of CS80s? Are they worth 26,000 US dollars?
No. Well, it's for the if you want to spend that much on it, then fair enough. I'd love one, but I'd never spend. I wouldn't even be able to afford that anyway.
Yeah. Well, so what were we up to, Inky, with the prices? 26,000, and what was the other one?
20, wasn't it?
26,000 and 20, so $46,000. You got both of them.
My uncle used to play in a cathedral, right? And he had a CS80, and as soon as I put the two things together a couple of years ago, I went, oh my God, that's what he had.
Yeah.
Because he had a Juno first, and then he got a different one. I remember all the colours because I remember going round there, and he let me touch it. And I rang up his sons. I mean, he's long since dead, and I was like, dude, you haven't got your dad's organ. And I was like praying. They'd go, yeah, it's hanging about in the loft. But no, they sold it. I didn't tell them. I was like, no, I can't tell them how much.
How much did they sell it for?
Yeah, no, I couldn't ask that. I couldn't, because then I'd just be like, I couldn't ask it. So I left it alone. But even if we'd split the profits, they would have been happy, wouldn't they?
As long as they didn't sell it on a car boot. For nothing.
They probably did. They probably like, because they were all guitarists. He was all into rock and roll, and they all turned out into like 50s rock, and he had about 3 lads, and they all played guitar. None of them played the keys, so they would have got rid of this. They would have just sold it for 500 quid or something. And you're like, so. Well, not in the family anymore.
If you were busy on both of those deals were on Reverb, and if you were busy on Reverb, you were up for about $46,000 US. That would be a lot of money out of your pocket just to get 2 synthesizer pieces of hardware. Both of them kind of in the 70s. Were made both in the 70s. One early 70s and one kind of towards the late 70s. Anyway, back to reality. For those who are watching the stream for the first time, welcome and big g'day to you, and glad you could make it. Now, question in the chat was, has everyone heard the big Behringer news? Well, no, we haven't heard the big Behringer news because no one actually has any idea what the hell they're on about. Apparently there's some massive announcement and they just keep dragging it and dragging it and dragging it, and no one knows. So I don't know whether this has any truth or not, but I was in a music store during the week and the guy that works there said to me that they think it's a new mixer because the X series mixers have been around for a while now, and they believe it's a new mixer. It's going to use the Midas gear in it, and it's going to revolutionize a big corner of the mixing market that hasn't been met yet, and it's going to be quite price attractive as well. That's the rumor that I've got. Now, I can't obviously verify that. It's just a guy that works at a music shop. Inky, you were going to say something?
Well, Pete's, I can't remember if it's Rob or Pete. I went on some channel and he was already doing a new Midas mixer that they've done that's quite revolutionary. I don't know, it's really high end. I don't know if you could look it up, but they've just released a massive mixer that is kind of multi-touch and stuff.
That thing's like, you have to have a forklift to move it. That's what you're talking about. That's a massive thing. That's like what you'd put in a studio, what they're talking about. So Midas have been busy with that sort of stuff, but at the same time, from what I've been told, Behringer are going to be releasing the new X series iteration, the next iteration on the X series. Whatever it's going to be called, who knows? That's the theory, but it may not be. It might be a synth. It might be a CS80. There's all these things that they've been teasing us with, haven't they? So,
do you think
it'll be a W30?
Explain yourself, Darren.
Well, they've been showing you something with a W on it and just going W. It'll be the is it the Roland W30 sampler keyboard that the Prodigy used? Be a clone of that. Or it'll be a Behringer workstation.
Oh, a sampler.
Yeah, it might be that. Yeah.
Could be a sampler. They haven't done a sampler yet, have they?
No, I don't think so.
Wow, that'll be 30. So 888 Berg's agreeing with you. Prodigy for the win. There you go.
Yeah.
Who knows?
If they haven't done one, they need to do one.
I'll put my hand up and say I didn't come up with the idea that it was a new mixer. I'm just passing it on what someone whispered in my ear. I actually wouldn't have a clue. But some of the things on social media from Behringer at the moment have been absolute bat crazy. They've been terribly bizarre. Like, you know how you just mentioned how they had this thing where there's a video and they've got the W letter zipping across the screen. Someone put a T and an F after the W and did a meme of it. So you guys can work that one out. or they're going to clone their own neutron. They'll clone themselves to the point where they won't be able to clone anything else. They'll just become like have you seen that photo where you've gone from vinyl to, and it iterates through the different versions of recording down to MP3, and it's all pixelated and digital. So that's what Behringer will be like after they've cloned themselves a few times. Brilliant. All right, let's move on to the next part. Okie dokes, we're going to do the vocoders now. Let's jump to here. So the first one I'm going to look at, guys and gals, is the MicroKorg. I did promise I'd show you the MicroKorg. 888 Berg, I hope you're paying attention. I know it's pretty late over there where you are, but here we go. This is the MicroKorg. I don't know if you can hear me properly. I probably should turn my other mic off because I'm probably getting feedback into it. This is pretty cool. What I like about the MicroKorg, we're talking about vocoders probably the last couple of weeks on the stream, and we've been sort of saying, let's get some vocoders on, let's have a look at them. What I like about the MicroKorg is it's just so quick to get a a vocoder sound up, and they sound actually really, really good. They sound good. I mean, I think they do. The presets are great. This is another one. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what this one does. So there's all sorts of, and you can play chords and things. Because it's four voices, I think, if I remember rightly. So that's the MicroKorg. Now, while I've got the MicroKorg, there's some things that you can do with the vocoder. There's actually some, settings you can make to it on this part here. So I've done a video before about how you can, you can actually go into the back end of MicroKorg and program it. By the way, that microphone I was using is the actual mic that ships with the MicroKorg. It's weird. It's kind of, when you first get it, it looks all nice and straight, and after a few years it looks like that. It's all manky. You can't straighten it back again. It's yeah. So if you do have a MicroKorg microphone and it looks straight, maybe don't use it. Anyway, have you got any questions about the MicroKorg vocoder? Because I've got a couple of others I want to show you, or maybe I'll just get into the quick ones now. So last week, was it last week or the week before? I had the VT3, which is the Roland VT-3, which is this one, and maybe I might move the MicroKorg out the way. I'm going to make a massive mess here and knock my beer over. Don't do that. Don't knock Ranzee's beer over. All right. So this is a digital. So is the MicroKorg. What am I saying? This is a digital vocoder, which is reasonably new. This is not the latest version though that they brought out. They brought out a VT4, of course. This is part of the IRA gear. And I've got this plugged in directly into. This is for you, Darren. I got this plugged into USB 3, so it's being powered off of USB on my MX1. And this is what it sounds like. I might just mute this microphone for a sec. Let me just mute it. This is what it sounds like. Yeah. This is the vocoder. I can mix my voice into it so you can hear me a bit better. I don't know if that's loud enough. That's not very loud, is it? Blah, blah, blah. Let's turn it up a bit. There we go. There's a bit better. Yeah. Okay, vocoders. Normal is my voice. Effect is the vocoder. You can see that there. Normal, effect. And you can sort of do both in between. So you've got a reverb effect here, and you can turn that off. Turn a little bit on. Or max it out. Anyway. There is this. It's got a whole bunch of. Sorry. It's got a whole bunch of presets along here. So you've got direct, which is just me talking direct, and you can then change the pitch and things like that with auto pitch. My auto pitch sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, and it sounds crap. And then you've also got auto pitch 2, which is kind of a bit fuzzier. Auto pitch. In the vocoder. Yeah, there's a vocoder. Intergalactic, intergalactic. And you can change the format of the vocoder. That's the vocoder, and then you've got these weird ones like synth and lead, and I don't even know how this is going to sound. So let's try it. That is bizarre. This is lead. And bass. A crack up for me. Sorry, I was losing it. The bass one sounded stupid. Trying to keep a straight face when you're using a vocoder, guys, on a live stream. Do you not recommend it? No. Okay, and you've got Megaphone. Alright, here we go. This one's supposed to sound a bit like one of those crazy sort of concert things. Let's do it. Okay, everybody. Here we go.
I can talk really high. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. This is awesome. You like bass? Hi. I've been eating helium.
And then I've been eating helium, but it didn't work.
Oh god, that's horrible. And you've also got radio, which is kind of like just a lo-fi sort of thing. This is radio. I can think of some good uses of radio actually. It sounds pretty good. But yeah. Anyway, that is the Roland VT-3. So it's got a... I don't know, guys. What do you reckon? It's got a few tricks up its sleeve, hasn't it? What do you guys think of the VT-3?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well done. What we might do is we might move the VT-3. While you guys are doing that, I might move it out of the way. Inky, what did you think? I know you're laughing at me. You're not being very nice to me today.
I forgot. I've got a KP3 I could have hooked up.
Oh yeah, I've got a KP3 as well. Yeah.
I could have hooked that in to the mix, and that's got a couple
you
of
can still do it.
vocoders on it, hasn't it?
You've got time.
I'll have to turn you down, okay? And
yeah, you can do it.
Yeah,
Turn me down.
just do it.
All right, let's catch up with what the chatties are saying. A bit disappointed the vocoder on the VT4 Offworld saying. I'll have to get him to explain himself there. I haven't really played with the VT4 yet. Triple Eight Berg's about to pull the trigger on a VT4 and then he saw an Offworld's comments. I'm not selling these very well, no. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be one of those YouTube demo people. That's not my job. And you can tell, can't you? So, the key trick with most vocoders is use compression on a mic input and lower the input threshold from the default, is what Axel Soft Music is saying. Another dimension. Don't base your opinions on this demo. Offworld's being a bit nasty. Come on. I'm having a bit of fun. Anyway, alright, so what's next? We've got the VC340 over there, which I can jump over there and do that. Do you guys like to see the VC340?
You might as well. You know,
Might as well. Okay, just remember the mic I'm using. This is the mic I'm using. It's a really crappy Shure mic. I don't even know how old this thing is. What is it? A BG 1.0. It's probably the cheapest Shure mic you could buy in the world. Okay. Okay. Now, this has got a delay on it. We're going to turn that off. Is it that one? Okay. Here we go. Checking the levels. Checking the levels. Yeah. This is the vocoder. working the levels. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. This is like a one-trick pony. Now the big thing about that vocoder is that it's analog, and I need to, for me to do that properly, I need to set that up here and put a proper mic through it like this one. So I think what I might do is I might do the VC340 another time in the vocoder side, because it's a bit hard for me to sort of watch the stream and do that over there. But yeah. So with the VC340, if any of you are getting it just because you want a vocoder, don't be disappointed in the vocoder side. It doesn't have a lot of different sort of sounds in it. It's kind of more like it's different pitches and slightly tonal adjustments, but really it's pretty much that one sound. Whereas where I was saying the MicroKorg is probably a better one because it's got like a lot of different formant type options in it. Now, having said that, the MicroKorg is also based on at the time the Korg were producing a lot of VA type synth engines out, and so the Radias was out as well, and the vocoder on the MicroKorg is similar to the one in the Radias, but the Radias is better because there's more voices and it's got lots more under the hood. So if you really want to go to town on a vocoder, I still think the Radias is one of the best. Dazzle would say, if he was here, he'd say that the new Montage vocoder is pretty good, so I was actually hoping that he'd be on the channel so we could show it. But because it's 3 hours time difference between me and him, that would put him at around about getting close to 1 in the morning over his way. So probably a bit late for him. So questions in the chat. So the Michael's saying his Juno DS has got a vocoder. It does, yes. The Roland do a few vocoders, are pretty good. The JD-XI is good. I think someone might have mentioned that a bit further down. I've got a JD-XI, and look, it's just not enough room for me to set all the vocoders up. Inky, are you good to go? Are you going to give us a thumbs up?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right, okay. So, testing.
1, 2, 3. Do anything?
Yep.
Do anything?
We need to pump it up a bit though, it's a bit quiet.
Is that better? I am an alien.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Hello? Hello?
Maybe a tiny bit more.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. So that is vocoder 1.
So this is the KP3.
Yeah, this is a KP3.
Yep.
Original version. I have no idea how I'm sounding.
Sounds good.
Vocoder 3. Vocoder 3. Vocoder 3. Vocoder 3.
Vocoder 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That sounds very clean, isn't it?
I think I can make it go less or more or less. Alien.
I mean, it,
Going. Is there any more? Yeah, yeah.
I think that's all we have.
think you're muted.
I'm muted.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was some glitchy stuff going on.
Yeah, you mute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What are you using, Darren?
What do you think? Oh, yeah.
VT3.
No. Right. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So, do you need a vocoder or can you run through software?
Okay.
Let's have a look. Let's try. Space. The final film's here. I think you've muted yourself. What's that, Roland?
Come in.
Wow. This is another one on here. So there's heaps of vocoders out there. I think is kind of the point, and you could use. So Darren, what did you say? I actually didn't catch what you said you had.
I didn't say what I had.
Okay. Do we have to guess
software.
in the chat? It's okay.
Yeah,
yes,
try guessing.
I don't use much software, so I wouldn't know.
It's Isotopes vocal synth.
Isotope vocal synth. Yep, gotcha.
Yeah, number 2 is much better as well.
Yep. That's pretty cool. I don't mind that actually. Inky, before when you were doing that last setting on yours, it was really glitching out. It actually sounded almost like you had some artifacts in it, and I don't know whether you did it on purpose or if that was a happy accident or you knew what you was doing.
What's this one?
It was kind of, wasn't it, Darren? It was kind of glitching out.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who was which one it was because I had the screen covered with me. But yeah, it sounded quite cool.
Just keep fiddling, Inky. You might get it back.
1, 2.
We can hear her. That's good. That's good.
1, 2. 1,
Yep.
2.
We can hear you.
2. Is that? I don't know if it's this one.
No, it wasn't that one. 1, 2, 3.
I'm having too many. It's vocoder overload.
Okay, so that's like a 5th one, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so let's go back to what the whole point of this vocoder sort of discussion was about. And what I want to do is I want to introduce let's formalize what I would call our Saturday sonority. Okay, so Saturday sonority is, as it said there, it's really ask us anything. And that, when I say ask us anything, it includes people in the chat, people who are on the stream. And the topic obviously today is vocoders. And I'll get it started anyway. So what else I could have shown, and it's a bit hard for me to set everything up and have it all in front of me while I'm trying to stream, is I have a JD-XI, I could have shown you that. I could have shown you the Roland System-8. I could have shown you the Radias. What else? I've also got a KP3 Inky. Could have shown that. There's also Vocoder on the Electro and the Korg M3. There's a heap that I could have gone and shown you. But I think personally, and kind of where I was coming from, I always felt personally that the easiest vocoder to use, without a doubt, for me, was this. Easiest to use. Easiest to just... You can chuck some batteries in this thing. You can chuck any mic input in the back. It also takes synthesizer input too, so you don't have to just put your voice through it. And the presets, I think, are quite nice. For me to say presets are nice, I mean it. They actually are quite nice. There's two banks. There's bank A and bank B. And don't forget also, this is a multi-timbral synth, so you can layer the vocoder sound with another sound at the same time. So it's two-part multi-timbral. And having said that, the thing is cheap as anything, and these things go... Inky, what do these things sell on eBay in the UK? They're just about nothing now, aren't they? These things just go... Because there's so many of these out there.
They're pretty hard, though, to get, because people who love them. You know, people who've got them in their studio will not get rid of them.
Yeah. Well, how long have I had mine for? 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. So that's how long I've had mine for. Inky's paused. No, she's still there. There we go. I thought she's paused in thought. There we go. Let's check out what the chatties are saying. Actually, I don't mind this new.
My one thought.
I don't mind this new YouTube streaming thing, because the chat thing is right on the side of my other monitor, and my camera is right there, and the chatting is right there. It almost looks like I'm looking at the camera when I'm reading it. It's pretty cool. Infected mushroom software that 888 Berg's talking about. I remember seeing those guys writing some VSTs. So I've never ever tried any of their stuff. So if anyone's tried it, let us know.
But will it work on Catalina?
Yes. Oh my God, that video that I put up on Catalina, you should see the comments coming out of that thing. It's incredible. There's so many people saying to me that they've upgraded and they are like screaming for help. Oh, help, I've upgraded, what do I do? Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, getting back to vocoders, 888 Berg's asking me, is the MicroKorg better than the Roland VT-3? I'd say yeah, easily. I actually don't like the sound of the VT-3. I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't think it's...
I can be honest, I didn't like it either.
I just don't think it's musical at all. Yeah. Darren?
I was going to say, instead of using it as a vocoder, I put my DFAM through it. So I've sort of scrapped the idea of vocoder as such and just use it as an effects box for instruments rather than your voice.
Yeah, you can use it also as a second analog input, a secondary analog input for your MX1, which is handy. So, and also because you can power it off USB 3, it doesn't need any battery, it doesn't need any like power, so you can power it off your MX1. It's pretty cool. So Axelsoft saying his vocoder choice is JD-XI, JD-XA, System-8, Korg R3, which is probably similar to Korg R3 is probably similar to the Radias. Cross, Mini Nova. Yeah, we didn't talk about the Mini Novas. Miniac, Mox F, Mod X. Yeah, good. He's got lots there. And it's not hard to actually, when you actually start thinking about if you've got a bit of hardware gear, it's not hard to actually realise that you might actually already have vocoders in your gear, and it's just a matter of knowing your gear better. Like when I was doing that list the other day of vocoders, I forgot all about my System-8 having one, and it definitely has one, and it's got some insane formant filters on that. So yeah, you know, ask questions about vocoders because we're here, and if you want to show me something, if you want me to show you something specific about either the MicroKorg, the VT3, or the VC340, which are all plugged in at the moment, let me know.
I know one that probably
Inky's showing something.
no one's got.
Inky's got the TC Hell. Why don't you show us that, Inky? Can you get that running?
No, because I thought I broke my mic, but it turned out to be the wire, and this requires two. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see.
Shows up.
Yeah, so you need the in and the out, the boy and the girl.
Yeah, and
the boy and the girl cable.
And I think I might be able to. I think if I'd known, I think there's a wire that I've got that might have sorted it, but it's in a box. But it's quite good because you can plug guitar into it.
Yep.
So that's quite handy. Yeah.
It is, and while you were talking, I was getting something. This is what you need. One of these things.
I've got the feet. I've got, yeah.
But look, on the other side, you can plug a TRS.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've got a wire that does that, but it's in the box, and I didn't think about it. All I thought was, last time I tried this, it didn't work. Oh yeah, it was the wire. You know, when you've gone through,
yeah.
why doesn't this work? Why doesn't my mic work? Have I blown things up? And it turned out to be one of these. And
Oh,
I've
okay.
only got,
Yeah.
I think I could have bodged it, but yeah, it's clean. It's a clean alien voice, and it's cheap.
Yeah, TC Helicon make really good voice stuff. So I don't have anything TC Helicon, and I mentioned to Inky before the stream started that one of the products that I've always wanted to get is the, I'm going to say Voice Live Touch or something like that, didn't I? It's the, we'll get it up on the screen in a second. We can have a look at it. It's if you're into voice pitch changing, all sorts of voice effects. If you're a vocalist, you probably know it very well. But I've always wanted one because people have been saying to me, you should do more vocals, and I'm kind of scared to just use my natural voice because it's probably crap. Anyway.
I bet there's a vocoder that very few people have got out there, and that's by Quasimid, the
Yeah.
Sirius.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
I bet no one's got one. Yeah, I bet no one's got one of them. I was wanted that synth as well.
Yeah, Michael, you should jump on the stream if you've got a vocoder. Offworld's asking, ever used the microKorg for pitch shifting vocals? No, but you can. Easily. You definitely just play the chord, play the note. You could definitely do it. And apparently with the VT3 you can do the same thing. So you can change the pitch on that, and you can plug in a USB keyboard into it and it will work. Does anyone have any genuine hardware device that does T-Pain correctly? So I don't know what T-Pain is. Anyone want to fill me in what T-Pain is? No one? I don't know what T-Pain is, sorry. There's so many acronyms in the music world. Don't really know it. It'll take probably about 20 seconds before someone can let us know. While we're at it, while we're talking about the stream and things like that, we've just about to hit the first hour. I've been talking on social media about introducing a new segment. Now, this was actually not my idea. This was actually suggested by one of you guys who were in the chat quite a lot. So I'm going to roll. I've got a stinger ready. Now the new stream is the new segment is going to be called Jam of the Week, and I'll talk about it on the other side of this. So let's roll this. Let's go. Okay, so what is Jam of the Week? Well, Jam of the Week is going to be a segment where what I want to do is I want people to either use the hashtag JOTW or Jam of the Week and put ranzee as another hashtag, and that's how I'll get it on Twitter. And if you're on Facebook, you can just message me on Facebook. Copy in a link to a YouTube video that you've seen, if it's a mate of yours, even if it's your own, and whoever's stream. I think what we'll do is we'll have a listen to them before we go live, and we'll see if which one is it's worthy of going on. And whoever's gets on, hopefully we can get them in the chat and we can talk to them about their jam. And I guess the whole point of it is what I kind of want to do with this stream is I want that connection to everyone, to sort of that everyone's welcome on the stream. You want to be a caller, you can be a caller. I want to showcase your music. I want to showcase some innovation that you guys are up to. And the whole point with Jam of the Week is not to do anything negative, it's to do something positive, and that's to showcase someone. Now, I came across a few that I was probably happy to put on this week, but I thought in the end I might just not do it for yet. What I want to do is announce it, get you guys thinking about it, and we can have it towards the end of the stream. We can talk about the jam after we've played it, and hopefully keep it sort of short, 1 minute, 2 minutes sort of skint of the jam, and we can then post the link in the description so they can watch the rest of it. What do you guys think about that idea? Inky, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea.
Do you have? Sorry, I was sipping my beer. Do you have any? Do you have any ideas of anyone that you think you might want to nominate yet?
No, not this week, but I've got a few people in mind.
That's good.
That might come on.
Yeah, and I'll just go to Darren. Darren, what about you? What do you think of that idea, jam of the week?
Yeah, that'll be cool. I mean, I don't jam, unfortunately, yet. Although I'm still working on a setup to do tracks more live, if you follow, as a jam. But yeah, that'll be cool, seeing other people, how they work. Plus, it might give me ideas as well.
Yeah, and I think the idea kind of came from one of the chatties, and we were talking about, I think I was showing one of my songs that ended up being a commercial song, and it started off as a jam, and someone said, "Hey, that's a good idea, why don't you show some jams?" And it kind of started from there. So kind of where I want to go with this is I would actually see if we can get someone actually even as a caller. So we've got callers all around here, right? See if we can get someone as a caller, we can talk to them about their jam. Now, there's a couple of people I've got lined up who I'm trying to get on the stream, and we'll announce them when they come. But we'll see how that segment goes. But I think that segment is kind of where I want to go with this live stream that we're doing. It kind of brings everything together. This is at the end of the day, we're talking about gear, we're talking about music and things like that. And at the end of the day, we've got to make music and let's showcase it. So, all right. Finn is saying Mike Doty's done a good video review on the VC340. It's good. I haven't checked it out yet, but Mike Doty's pretty good at doing that sort of stuff. And yeah, Miniac's been mentioned as a good vocoder, so there we go. And don't forget, we mentioned that vocoder last week, didn't we, on the news, which Waldorf have just brought out. The what was it called? Who's got a quicker memory than me? Waldorf.
No, because mine's just gone.
Yes, so was mine. You guys
it was
know
nice,
what I'm
and
talking about. It's based on the Strymon.
Oh, the Kyra.
Yeah, because
it's not the Kyra. The Kyra was the other one that we mentioned at the same time. It was the... I'm about to see it. Where is it? No, I'm missing it. News 3. There it is.
Michael says he's set up if you want to invite him in.
STVC.
Yeah,
that's
I
why
was just going to say.
That's why I couldn't remember. It's a weird name. STVC by Waldorf.
Michael wants to pop on.
Yeah, Michael can come in. You can just use the same details I gave you last week, mate. If you don't have them, I can give them to you again. Give me a sec. Talk amongst yourself, people, while we get Michael set up. Show us a bit more of that, yeah. I'm just gonna...
want to do the whole show like this, and then I only want it.
Well,
Alright, I'm just going to send this to Michael so he's got an email. Bang.
When's Triple 8 coming on the show?
Yeah, when are you coming on the show, Triple 8? Okay, so Michael's, I've just sent you an email. That'll take 10 seconds before you hear that. When he's ready, he'll be on. And we'll just wait for that to happen. Okay. Triple 8 Berg. When are you coming on the show? You've got no more excuses now. Even if it's late, you know, think of Dazza last week. It was like 3 in the morning by the time he'd finished up. Do you guys in the UK, do you guys have lots of those, you know, like fairs and carnival type things where, I don't know, they do agricultural stuff. They show horses and there's like rides for the kids and show bags and things like that. Do you guys have those sort of things?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, farm fairs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Have you guys heard of this? Bertie Beetle.
Oh, well, there's that many
What?
pictures in there I can't see.
It's a
Bertie Beetle.
It's a chocolate. You guys heard of
I've not
those?
heard of that, but
We
we've got
have-
something like it.
It's
We've got
made,
Frodo Frog, is it?
it's not Frodo Frog. It's
Yeah.
made by. This is made by Nestle. But you can only buy them
French.
at those like fairs and carnival type things. You can't buy them in the shop. So Triple Eight Berg will know what they are, being Australian. And I went to this show the other day and I got this massive bag of them. And they'll last me a whole year, I reckon, these things. I just pull one out every couple of days and just munch on it. Anyway, have we got Michael yet? No? Where is he? Yes, we do. Okay, Michael's here. Hello, Michael. Let me just get you up. Let me just see if he's... Where is he now? Sorry, I'm just doing this on the fly. Now, Michael is on...
I think I can hear him.
Yeah, we can hear him. I'm going to get his picture up. Just give me a sec, guys. I've got like so many windows open here. It's not funny. And I'll put him on the lower. Let's get him in here. There he is. And we're going to change.
So I don't know if I'm causing crosstalk, but I can only hear on the delay.
So we can see you and we can hear you. It's very dark in your room, but there you go. There you are there. And I'm just, while I've got you there, I'm going to get you up.
I can only hear the stream on the delay.
Yeah, we got that. Okay, I need to edit Daz's title. Keep going. Keep talking.
Oh, has he got the same sort of delay that I had?
He didn't have it last week, though. Oh, he's moved his studio, though. That could be why.
Yeah.
That could be what it is. He did say to us that he was moving his studio. I just finally found his lower third details, so...
Alright, cool. So, there's a couple different kind of vocoders on here. Yeah. No, my setup is messed up. So, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's also really dark. We're going to have to put up with
I'm going to grab my pair of headphones so I can hear it from the computer. So, 1 second.
Okay. So while Michael's
was
setting himself up, go for it, Inky.
It was that.
Where are the headphones?
It was that discussion last week about how you make music. I was like, oh, I missed it. But you know, there was people who make music in the dark and in
Yeah.
the light.
I have to get the headphones. 1 second.
I've got like a
Somebody
disco
took
light going on in here.
Yeah.
When I make music, it's all dark. I can't see anything.
I think that's
So,
better for when
that's
you're
how-
jamming, though, isn't it?
Oh, that's right, because we had Dazza and he was showing his studio being, and he was showing the laser lights and things like that. Yeah, I remember now. So you're the same as
That's all I
Dazza.
can get away with. Yeah, that's all I do really is jam. I can't do proper tracks like you, Darren.
Oh, rubbish.
No,
Oh,
but yeah,
load
but
of
yours
rubbish.
are good anyway. Yeah, but you see, I don't
Look.
jam. So that's why I need the light, because
Sorry
I'm
for the
sat
delay,
there
guys.
like working on
Just
it.
keep talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
But no, when I move
But
over to when I say I move over to, when I start working out to get a rig for more jamming or sort of like a live rig, then yeah, I would be like you. I'd have like more dark lights, more sort of club lights while you're jamming, because you don't actually need to see them work on bits, because it's all sort of on hands, isn't it?
Well, you want to feel like you're in the environment, and also you're going to be in that environment. You're going to be in the dark, aren't you? So
Exactly. You can't say, everybody wait, put the big lights on because I can't see what I'm doing.
I like it anyway. I just like that club atmosphere.
Yeah,
helps
that's
me make
good.
music for what I want to.
I've got coloured lights and like a little laser thing there when I'm switching over, when I'm just going through my tracks, but not when I'm sat
when you're
writing.
Listening back.
Yeah, when I'm listening back or things like that. Give it that bowler's feeling.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, what we were talking about, working and stuff. I mean, I like the light. So, and that's only because of eyesight. That's probably my biggest issue is eyesight, because I'm getting old, and I need to be able to see what I'm doing. And I often have to change glasses. I have two different glasses, reading and seeing at long distance. But usually when I'm just synthesized, most of it is just reading sort of distance, so it's not too much problems.
That's why I like things with colours on them as well, because it's like you don't have to read. It's more intuitive if you sort it out.
Yeah, and you can see the colour, and you've got the muscle memory to find it as well.
So if I made all my drum tracks red or various shades of red and orange, you can start working that way. I find that easier.
That's what most people in Ableton do.
Helpful.
And people that use Ableton do the same thing. Yeah.
And I use red for my drum tracks.
That's a good question. Who uses red for their drum tracks?
Yeah, red and orange are my drum tracks. Blue is always my bass. Green is more like pads, strings, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then the other colours are, like maybe yellows for main riffs, keys, leads, and then any other colour then I just whack on for effects or whatever else. Well, I think pink I usually use for vocals.
I use yellow for vocals and purple my main hook.
Yeah. Mine's the opposite way around, so it's pretty similar, yeah.
So you can hear us now, Michael?
Yeah, I got it. Sorry about that. I wouldn't have joined it. I'd known that was going to happen.
That's all right. It's good that you can hear us now. I had your voice turned down a sec just then because there was a lot of banging and stuff happening. Yeah. It's all good now.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are you ready to go, or do you want a couple of minutes?
Yeah. You want me to demonstrate some Juno DS vocoder?
Yeah, go for it, buddy. You've got the show.
There's a couple cool different types. The kind where you have to hit the key, it pitches to the key that you're hitting, which is kind of cool. So, but as you go further up, then you get the kind where it just pitches your voice, so you can actually like sing with it, like whoa. Yeah, this alto bass one is cool. So. I don't know. I'm glad you guys brought the topic up because I hadn't played with this in a while. But you can blend in the sounds of the keyboard and the vocoder separately because it's not tied to the ones that you hit. So that's kind of cool. Let me get some kind of cool magic. This is how. It's spooky in the United States for October. I don't know. That's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
Anything specific, you want me to try?
I don't know the Juno DS much. I've only ever tried it once in the shop, so you're the expert.
Yeah. But what's cool about the Juno is there's 4 faders on the left, and you can blend in the high and low patch, if you have like a combo separately, plus the mic mix. The mic can have
3.2, which I think is really, really cool. So what I'll do a lot is turn the vocoder, if I have the vocoder off, and I'll use the mic just as a mic input. So I only have to use one thing for the keyboard and the mic. And I have my own reverb on the mic, on the Juno, which is really cool. So pretty neat.
This is the vocoder, touching with my voice.
Kind of fun.
That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, thanks for showing us that. So that's the Roland Juno DS.
Yes, I think it's the latest one. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And just so everyone who watched the stream last week may have noticed that Michael has moved his studio from the closet to. Are you upstairs now?
Now I'm actually downstairs.
Oh, now you're down. That's right. You're upstairs. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So the big studio is gone. That's going to be a live-in space for a family member for a little while. So I brought everything back downstairs, but a lot of good memories in this room. We did, 6 or 7 different movie soundtracks, which is really cool. So I had a lot of good vibes in this room. So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's cool. You kind of did. I think I mentioned to you off stream last week. I did something similar. So there's a video on my channel which is my studio tour, but that's of my old studio, and I've since moved. That was upstairs, and I've since moved downstairs. So I've done the same thing as you, Michael. And this room that I'm in here is actually, it's the same size as the master bedroom, and so it's actually really, really big. And I'm only just taking up this kind of corner of it. So.
Right.
And there's still a bed over here, which is not used. It's like a guest bedroom, this is. So if we ever have guests stay here, they'll probably look at all this synth gear and think, what the hell?
Yep.
Well, they might start jamming out. I don't know.
Yeah, just the one thing about this Juno, it presses me over and over, is that there's like a reverb for the keys that's completely separate from the reverb for the microphone. So as a performer, I can turn the effect up on just the mic and not the patch. Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, just one sec, Michael. Inky was going to say something. Inky.
Sorry, Inky.
Hiya. I was just going to say, so my studio is at the end of the building. From the living room, it just looks like a cupboard. So if anybody asks, I go, oh, it's just a cupboard. So they don't have to come in here.
Yeah, and steal stuff.
Well,
wreck
things.
Or
there's people that I know, or they just go, what is all this? Why have you bought it? And you'd have to go, well, it's a bit like this. And I don't think they'd really understand, would they? Do you know what I mean?
I feel your
pain.
pain.
Go, oh, I'm into music. Yeah.
I'm like, every time I buy a synth, it's like, you don't need another piano, do you? Haven't you got a piano already?
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's funny.
How many pianos do you need, Rans? I don't know if you guys saw, Darren, this is really for you, mate. We were talking about cassettes the other day. I thought I'd pull out some of my old faithful cassettes.
Yes, I've got that. Yeah.
So
I've got Oxygen. I've got Zoo. What was it? Zoo. Oh, fucking it was Zoo. Zoology, was it? Yeah. Does it work? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I played it on my Technics 1980s cassette deck the other day, and yeah, I should. What I should. Well, keep talking amongst yourself. I'll see if I can.
I was a while on
photo.
Flutter.
It's very hissy. It's actually, you can tell it's old because it's only got Dolby noise reduction. So I've got a Pioneer cassette deck as well, and it's got Dolby B and C. So I think that was a 90s one, but this one is definitely an 80s one, and it's only got Dolby noise reduction on it, which you can tell that's definitely something that's old.
Yeah. Has it got the Chrome on as well, the Chrome switch?
No. It's got the. I'll get a photo of it, and I'll show you in a sec when I find it. It's got a push button select between the different types, the 3 different types of tape types on it. And I've never really understood what that actually does. Someone might be able to explain it to me. Even to this day, I used to sell hi-fi, and I probably, as a 20-year-old selling hi-fi, I probably actually knew more about it than what I do now. This is probably a good photo. I'll download this one. Here we go. Downloading a photo of my cassette deck. Why? Because we can. Inky, this will just get you really interested in old hi-fi stuff again, because I know you love it.
I remember having a pair of, one Technics deck from the 70s, and it was based on a Technics deck that they made. It had a tiny little button, so I super glued a bigger button onto it and used it for a bit.
So that's my CD player, and that's my tape deck. I've also got a tuner as well, which is not in the photo, and I've also got a Pioneer. Separate, but you can see how it's got the tape selectors. You've got the metal, the chrome, and the normal, and then it's got Dolby NR, Dolby.
That's what I need for all my tapes. But the thing is, have you tried old tapes in it? Because the really crappy one that I had ended up chewing my tape. Also, it's not chewing your tapes up, because I've had 3 tapes that have been chewed up, and it's been really annoying. That's why I need to get a really decent one. That
CD player's on its way out, though. That CD player will only play probably 1 in 5 of my CDs, and it won't play any burnt CDs, because I don't know if you know, but the burnt CDs had a longer time. They were slightly larger in size, so this doesn't have the knowledge of the future, basically. So this is a really old CD player. But when it does play CDs, God, it sounds good. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. I've got a Technics CD player that goes into a NAD amplifier, and it's beautiful. It's brilliant. I've even got the gold cables and everything. You know, when you go to the full extreme oxygen-free cable for your speakers and modern short speakers, the lot. You know, making sure there's no way it can sound any. You know, for what comes from the CD player gets to the speakers.
Yeah,
Shall I show you mine?
I used to make a killing. Yeah, show us yours.
Yeah, go on.
I used to make a killing on the monster cables and gold-plated accessories when I used to work in a hi-fi store. Oh, here we go. It's a bit dark, but what do we got? Hang on, let's go full screen Inky. Hang on, full screen Inky.
Oh, we're going in.
Go a bit closer.
Oh, we need to get little cameras and go around the studio doing this.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Is that Yamaha?
Technics.
Oh, Technics.
No, it's Pioneer, sorry.
Pioneer.
Pioneer. So you'd have a very, like a 5K CD changer. And
yeah.
Ah, right, yeah.
It's got 2 little tape decks. Hold on.
Yeah, dual tape decks. Can see that down the bottom.
And it's working because you're going through it. You're just not turned up. So the little voice is yours. You've got 2 little tape decks.
Yeah.
And then underneath there is some tapes.
Is the tape deck Technics or Pioneer?
It's all Pioneer.
See, that's the deck I like.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
We've got that one over there.
Oh, hang on, Inky's again. Sorry.
Very expensive DJ mix. Yeah.
That's a nice turntable.
Do you still use them, Inky?
I did until I got the synths.
Yeah, I've got an Intimidation Blue mixer. And 2 turntables, but I've got nowhere to put the other turntable, so it just sits there, really. Because everything's gone into a record box now, or, Serato and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it's...
That's it. I kind of bought 2 MPCs because I didn't want to DJ on a controller.
Inky's getting the camera right. There we go.
Yeah, so once I bought the 2 MPCs and started on that, then I stopped playing my records for a bit. I bought a record washer, and I've done about a third of my vinyl, and there's 4 records still there from about 2 years ago. Hold on.
I haven't got a record washer actually. The amount of vinyl I've got, I could do with one.
There's a stack of vinyl now out there. That's selling like hotcakes. Yeah, I remember those things. They were really good actually. Yeah. The in Australia we've got like, you know, still got retailers who sell music, hardware music that is, like records and CDs, and the CD section has shrunk and the vinyl section has grown. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is.
Well,
crazy.
it is over here, but also, yeah, the manufacturers are just saying, "Oh, we can do all our back catalogues and make a hell of a lot more money."
Yeah.
To buy cut, you know.
So here's a question without notice, right? If you're making a vinyl, what, you know how we do CDs of 44:1, right? So what would you say would be okay to get away with in terms of quality for vinyl? Because technically vinyl is supposed to be better than CD, isn't it?
It's 48, isn't it? 48.
I had 48 as well.
It is 48.
Yeah.
There you go. This is another one.
The only thing is they're high passed, so that they get rid of a lot of the low. And then there's what do they call the name of the algorithm that all the turntables have that adds some of it back in? So that you don't have it in the track, but it's implied.
It. Yeah, it inverts it, didn't it?
No, it actually adds it back in. Yeah, it adds it back in. Yeah. And I think that's part of why vinyl sounds different, is because of that.
Yeah, because you don't want to record with too much low end, do you? Because it can make the needle jump.
No, the needle will fly right out of the thing.
Yeah.
Here's another one for you, Darren.
And yet you still. You see, and I've got it on CD. Not got it on tape though.
This is Enigma 3. So I've got Enigma 1 and Enigma 2 on CD, but I don't have Enigma 3 on CD. I've only got it on tape. Isn't that weird?
It's hard to get CDs now, anyway.
Oh, you can still
it's not
get them.
hard, but you have to.
Yeah, you can.
That's what I mean. It's not hard, but you can't just walk into the shop and get what you used to do.
Yeah.
You have to sort of.
I did see.
One time I used to just go to.
I did see.
Just to go to the local. Sorry.
I was going to say I did see all of the Orbital stuff on vinyl at the shop I was at, so I was kind of like, no.
All of it.
Yeah, there was a heap of Orbital stuff.
I gave away my the box by Orbital.
Oh no!
Why?
You're naughty.
Because I
Not
had
because.
that. I had.
She had a phone bill.
You know that. No. I You know that cartoon that said looked like Darren with all the vinyl?
Yeah.
I had a room like that in my house. And when I moved from Manchester to Cornwall, I didn't know what to choose. I didn't know where the line was to what I should get rid of. So I basically, there'd always been 2 boxes of records underneath my decks. And I went, well, that's what you'd save in a fire. So that's what you're going to take. And I gave away Tangerine Dream. I gave away, I had a little room that was full. If you imagine that was the floor, my floor of one of my rooms.
That's the dream, isn't it? Don't you reckon that's the dream?
And that's the dream, yeah. I mean, I've got 2 boxes underneath my keyboards that you can't quite see. So there's 2 boxes under there. There's a stack above that, and then just to the right of me here, which you can't see, I've got a deck sat on it, and then underneath there's another, I don't know, couple of hundred vinyl underneath that as well. And then in the other room I've got some vinyl.
So we've got about the same amount now. But wow. I had really good stuff like Tangerine Dreams, but I get it on a 1210. And yeah.
Michael's
I'm still going to ask you the question, why?
Oh, why did you sell it? Yeah.
I didn't sell it. I gave it all away.
Oh no!
Right? Yeah, the box were 25 quid at the time. I gave it away because basically I moved here in a van.
There's no because.
Leave her alone. All right, Michael, what are you showing us?
Last week I drew a blank trying to. There it is.
Everyone's picking on Inky now.
There we go.
What's that?
Oh, yes.
Yellow Brick Road.
Yellow Brick Road.
I was blanking on Funeral for a Friend last week. I was trying to talk about cool synth tracks and stuff. But I have so few vinyl now that I've actually encased them in a case to hang them on the wall.
That's not bad. Frame them, yeah, that's not a bad idea. The only problem is, I don't know about in Boston, Michael, but where I live in summertime, all the vinyl, if I framed it and chucked it on the wall, all the vinyl would warp because it gets hot here.
Yeah, that's why they're in cases, so they hold it. So.
Oh yeah, true. That's a good point. Inky, I was going to ask you because you're such an absolute legend when it comes to. Oh, hang on. Let me just show you. So let's keep that up again. I didn't have you. There you go. Yes.
I can't tell if I'm at the right angle.
Yes, that's a good one as well. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the angle.
Yeah. You got to stick your tongue out the side of your mouth while you're doing it as well. That's how you get the right angle. All right, Inky. Question without notice for you. Speaking of Technics gear, right? What turntable do I need to get? Do you remember the model number or anything like that? Because I want it to be
1210 Mark II. No, on that one.
This is 80s. This stuff.
Yeah. So well, why don't you just get a Technics deck, 1210 Mark II, and it'll fit really nicely and be really good.
They're still making them, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not the same, right? Because after Mark II, they did. So think of an analog synth and a digital synth and stepping.
Yeah.
And that's what you have in the speed of it. You know, your pitch controller. So mine are like electrical resistors, so there's no stepping.
Yep.
But after Mark III, I think after Mark III, they started to put digital ones in, which means they're not as precise.
Right. And how hard are they to get?
They're not cheap.
Well, that gear that I showed you before, I've been buying it just off people who have been like, one lady sold me that cassette deck recently for, I don't know what it translates to in your language, but it was $50 Australian, which is probably 25 quid. That tape deck was.
I'd say those Technics turntables, the 2010 Mark IIs, or even just the Mark 1s even, but they're like 303s. People who have them love them, and they won't get rid of them.
Yeah.
Without you having to spend a bit of cash.
There's one on Reverb for like $1,000.
No. I got mine for £400 second hand. They had the lids. They were pristine. I got a PAM, which I've still got somewhere, and lots of massive speakers for 400 quid. Yeah. Right? And I just think, wow, what a bargain that day was.
When did you get them?
Probably, well, I had a 1210 and a 1200, and they got nicked. So, wow.
She
hasn't frozen.
No. About 1994, but I think I had a pair before that got nicked. Well, I did.
Yeah, well, you got them at the right time because now you won't be able to get them for that.
No.
Unless you're lucky.
Battered. They're battered. I don't know where the lids are, and I'd probably get £1,000 for them. So that's a profit. And I always used to look at things in the, how you look at certain things that you might buy in inflation values. And for years, I looked at Technics decks as like how much inflation had gone up or down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we do with 303s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'd say you're spot on the money. Question without notice, and you've actually nailed it. While you were talking, I was just Googling, and I actually now I've looked at the photo of it. I used to sell these things in a hi-fi store. These Mark IIs, definitely, because the Mark 1s came out in the early 70s, and the Mark II was first released in 79, and I was working in the hi-fi store from the mid-80s to the late 80s. So, and they didn't bring a Mark III out until the end, like right at the end of the 80s, would have been probably more like 90s by the time we got it in the stores. So,
well,
you're spot on the money there.
Yeah, the Mark III was actually the Mark II, because what it was the 1200, which was silver.
Yeah.
And then you had the 1210s Mark II, which were black.
Yeah.
And there was no real difference except the colour.
Yeah, no, these are. I'm looking at them, and you know something when you've seen it. These are definitely the ones I used to sell, and they used to walk out the door like hotcakes. There were the brands I used to do were Technics, Pioneer, NAD, and to a later degree there were like companies like Denon coming in, and I think Sony was starting to make a bit of a sort of name for themselves towards the mid to late 80s. But it was more Technics and Pioneer.
To this day, if you get the vinyl DJs, that's what they want.
Yeah.
You know, that's the ideal deck they want. They don't want anything new. They want that one, which is why I kept them. I sold the records, but kept the decks always, man.
I know, and I never got the decks neither. I ended up with a limited direct drive.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I waited for years and years, and my mates got direct drive saying, "Oh, I'll get Technics," and they never did. And I waited and I waited. I was homeless for a while, but had the money for decks, but wouldn't spend it fine at home because I had like almost enough money. So I was couch surfing the lot. But you have to come round and have a go.
There you go.
I bring all the vinyl.
Bit of a drive though. What is it? About 4 hours drive? Maybe a bit more.
No.
Well, I go on holiday to Manchester because I used to live there. So that's where I go on holiday.
There you go. It's a bit far for me though. I was going to say with the turntables, the one turntable that I really actually like, I did like the Technics, so there's no argument for me. I loved it. I sold it heaps of them, but I actually really liked the NAD turntable that they sold in the 80s because they were really like, I don't know, the design of NAD stuff was really minimalistic. Like it was really kind of, it wasn't fancy looking. It was just very plain, but they put all their money into the stuff that's inside. And I remember they had a really nice stylus on them. Like it had extra sort of ability to sort of bounce, and if you put the needle on and it wasn't quite, if you were a little bit rough with it, it was actually quite stable. And the way the arm worked, it was kind of it was self-assisted, so you couldn't like knock the arm. And it was all these really cool little innovations in those NAD turntables that I used to think that these things are just wow. And people look at them and they'd say, "Oh, I don't like the look of that," and they'd go with the Technics because it looked nicer. But then you talk to them and you go, "Well, hang on a minute, check what this does," and then you go, "Oh, wow, that was actually pretty cool." So yeah, they were probably the second one that I sold. I don't remember selling too many Pioneer turntables, if I'm honest. I think they were kind of like, they didn't have a really good name. What's Darren showing us there? Orbital. Yes.
That
one was in the store.
That one.
That was in the store.
They're worth quite a bit.
Yeah, that was in the
They're
store.
not cheap.
Maybe they've reprinted them.
There's still plastic on that?
Sorry?
Is there still plastic on it?
No. It would be even more if it was.
Oh, if it was sealed, yeah.
Yeah, because it has the track on it, LC1, which is, well, you don't really see that track anywhere, to be honest. And it's quite a track that I like. So
I like those little hidden tracks that some of the people make, and you find them on. New Order did that, didn't they, with a couple of their albums? They I don't know if you guys follow New Order much, but there was a track that they made called I think it was Mesh.
Oh, Inky's gone looking.
Inky's gone looking. Yeah, she's disappeared. There was a track they made called Mesh, and it was. So if anyone's bought the New Order stuff in the past, there was.
All right, so you've got that in with.
What's she showing?
Sorry, she's got the high versions.
Yeah,
still in its wrapper.
It is too.
No, a new wrapper.
Very nice.
This is one of the washed records.
All right.
With a new inner sleeve. I bought new inner sleeves and new wrappers and the record washer, but only did half the records. But obviously, this one was a lucky one.
You gave that one a bit of love.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the other thing that I found, Darren, this is gonna. You probably won't have heard of this, mate. But the other thing that I found the other day was we were talking about synthesizers, and there was this thing in I think it was the 80s, that they used to make these kind of copy albums. Do you guys ever remember these things? Like synthesizer sensations? And
No.
you go, I don't know if you guys ever remember this stuff. You go to, you look at the track listings, right? If I can get a better version of that for you guys. I don't know if I can show you that. Anyway, I'll just read off there. But there's Vangelis songs on here. There's War of the Worlds. There's John Michel Jarre. There's Mike Oldfield. There's Kraftwerk. There's there's Rocket from Herbie Hancock. So it's kind of like a mixed thing. But every single one of the songs that are on here, they're not by the original artist. They're just covers. And
I
some of them
remember
are
those
really cheesy covers. I'll just show you again.
I remember those from like shops and elevators and stuff.
Yeah, and these things were like
terrible.
That's what they fall on. Yeah.
Look at that, the Unknown Man, the model.
I saw,
I'll have to sample this thing. It's
that's
crazy.
Anti-music. That's not music.
Yeah. But these things are rare now because people have chucked them and they're in landfill somewhere, right? So if you do get your hands on one of them, they're actually rare.
Chuck it in the landfill. Sorry.
Chuck it back in the landfill. But anyway, yeah. So I was kind of, there was a blast from the. I remember one of my relatives giving me one of those. It wasn't that one, because I only just bought that one the other day when I was at a flea market. One of my relatives gave me, I think it was a CD, and it was one of those like that synthesizer, something or other. And I remember taking it home and getting all excited, thinking, "Oh, this is going to be awesome!" And I took it home and listened to it, and I think I remember reading it had a Jean Michel Jarre song, and oh yes, I haven't got that song, and I took it home and played it, and it wasn't even him. It was actually some other. It wasn't even his song. It was something else. They just completely misprinted the whole. It was just a shambles. I ended up giving it to a mate and saying, "Oh, here's a good album. You can have it." But yeah, that's how good they were. You just gave them to your best mate.
What I was showing you, Inky, can you see that?
I can't see.
Yeah.
More orbital.
Is it? Yeah, but can you see? It's a band.
Yeah, band. Yeah.
Do you remember them?
Yep.
You know what it is?
No.
It's. Let me just see if I can.
If it's a Glastonbury one, then I
it's
wouldn't
a
have
USB.
one because I snuck in.
It's a USB.
What is it?
No.
Oh, neat.
USB.
So it's got songs on it.
And no, what it was is they recorded the gig that you were at live, and then you waited behind, and you got one of them. You had to pay for it, obviously, and that was your own gig. Each gig was different, so obviously when they recorded it, you got that at the end of the night.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, that is awesome.
Is that a cool idea or what?
I thought you were trying to
That's
make
a
it.
brilliant idea.
Yeah,
They could have just collected the
basically
email address and sent a link to it later, but yeah, that's cool.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Darren was
and I
trying
thought
to
that
make a
was
joke
brilliant.
because you were saying, you know how Orbital and they're a band? I'm like,
no, but they did that. That was the 2009 they started that. I don't think they carried on doing it, but at the 2009 gig, a the whole thing was recorded from start to finish, so that any mistakes, anything that happened in that gig, you got that captured on your USB to take home. So that was a brilliant idea. I thought it went really well.
And it stops people as well filming it, and because people who are filming it aren't enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'm actually really. No, it's no good.
About.
But I'm really jealous now, Darren.
Is it video, Darren?
Yeah,
no, unfortunately, they haven't got to the video. I think they did try video, but with it being, with them trying to get as many of these out as they could, it was just down to MP3.
Oh, okay.
Because the gig was it was nearly 2 hours long. So for them to do MP4s at the end of the night the crowds would have been thingy. But I can give you a copy of that if you want.
Oh, yes, please.
Manchester gig at the Academy in Manchester.
Hold on.
2009.
I would have missed that. Why would I have missed that? How did I miss that? I was still living there. No. Yeah. Oh, because I just had a child. Oh, that'll be it. I had 1-year-old child. Yeah.
That always spoils it.
Yeah, that happens.
Speaking of going to concerts, right? This was me earlier in the year. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I went to. This is Kylie Minogue. So you guys probably remember who she is, and so you can see I'm standing pretty close, probably about maybe 20 people back from the stage, 10 people back. I don't know. You can count the heads, and you can see just about everyone in front has got phones up, doing that. I mean, obviously I had my phone up to take that photo, but I only took probably about 5 photos during the whole concert, and the rest, was kind of me just standing there, enjoying it. I actually had a seat, I could sit down, but yeah, for me, I agree with that. I think if you go to a concert, you're there to kind of listen to it and enjoy it, aren't you?
Yeah, put the damn phone away.
Spent money to get in.
Absolutely.
Yes. Phone away, That's what.
Who was saying that there was a? Someone was saying they went to a concert recently. It was a really, really well-known artist, and they said, first thing I'm going to ask all of you guys to do is put your phones away. And they said, because we don't want you to sit behind your phone. We want you to enjoy it. Someone actually said it was like a big thing, and some people got offended.
Some of the big artists. And some of the big artists started putting the blocks in so you can actually use your phone. You can't figure it out.
Well,
was that Taylor Swift?
The network does. I think it was Taylor Swift, yeah.
So you can
Taylor Swift, yeah.
Oh, it could have been Madonna.
Well, I probably wouldn't even be there. But anyway, moving right along. She'd
probably... One quick thought. Do you guys remember when concerts you used to sit down and then everybody started to stand up?
Well, that's what happened at that Kylie one.
Change.
That's what.
No, but like in general, like all audiences used to sit, and then all of a sudden people started to stand, and then you're like, wait a minute, there's people standing in front of me, and then you had to stand too.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened exactly there. So basically, where I am there, everyone started standing, and there's a seat. If I wanted to sit down, I could sit down. So and because everyone's standing, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So what was the point of the chairs anyway? It was stupid. So, yeah.
Have you ever been to a gig where the floor is sloping? Because that is really off-putting. Yeah, well, no, it's not.
The Apollo.
That's bad. That's bad. But have you ever been to the Brixton Academy in London? It's like sheer. Oh, it's.
Well, the Apollo was bad enough. I watched the Prodigy there, and it's like, in fact, I watched the Orbital there as well. But yeah, that was bad enough.
No,
your calf muscles are killing you.
Yeah, but Brixton is even worse. So it's so bad you can't dance. You can't really move, even from left to right, and you can't move forwards or backwards because it's just. Oh, the whole gig. It was a Megadog. Years of Megadog or something. And it was a really good gig. All the best bands in the world, And you couldn't dance. Couldn't dance for like 8 hours of not dancing, looking at your best bands in the world.
Sounds like a death trap
Yeah.
to me.
I was all right. I somehow blagged it into the VIP suite where there was lots of free wine, and that's what I remember. How I remember coping with that gig.
Oh, that's all right though. I think that's fine. I mean, there was a place that I used to go to when I used to live over on the other side of Australia, Sydney, and the place has been since knocked down. And I remember the whole floor subsystem used to literally move up and down because people would like slam dance, and the whole crowd was doing this, and you could see the floor going flexing under, and I was like, we're getting out of here. This place is going to fall over. So yes. Anyway, Michael, are you still doing your gigs, or is that kind of chilled out for a bit?
Yep, I have a gig coming November 2nd. It's 3 bands are playing. It's a benefit.
Give it a plug, mate. Go for it.
Yeah, it's Westwood Regency, November 2nd. If you're from Massachusetts, but it's expensive because it's a benefit, and I think there's food and there's a whole bunch of bands, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's it right now. You know, we did a bunch over the summer, but that's the only one coming up.
Do you find it better to do concerts during the summer, or does it not really matter these days? What's kind of the go?
It's weird. When you have 4th of July here, our holiday in July, that's in the name, a lot of people are on vacation, or holiday, as you guys would say. So you get sporadic attendance. Whereas after Christmas, people start going out again, even though it's cold. So I'd say the best time is probably winter for gigs, for audience.
You got the less of the sweat factor too when you're actually inside those sort of, you know, those theaters and that where they have the inside sort of gigs, and it's just a sweat factor, isn't it, when everyone's dancing and going crazy. So if it's colder, it's not so bad.
Yeah, but we have a lot of outdoor places too, you know, where the stage is covered, but everybody else is outside. So that exists here too.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, where I live, most of the concerts that we have here have to be done outside because the indoor places aren't big enough to hold the crowds. So they usually do them in stadiums, or that one that I showed you with Kylie Minogue before. That was just literally a park on the side of the river, and on the other side of the river is the view of the city. It was actually really pretty because you're looking at her in front of you, and then you just glance your head off to the right, and there's a beautiful view of the city and all the skyline lights. It was actually quite a nice place to be at a concert. It was really well set up too. But normally it's just a grassed area. So, you know, they do really good setups now.
Right. So you would think a band is going to stream all the concerts, then you wouldn't need people to put the phone up to capture it so they could. But I know it doesn't give them the satisfaction of showing off that they're on Facebook, that they're at a concert, but still. Like, I don't know. Hate to harp on the same thing over and over, but
I think if I was performing, I would definitely ask everyone to put their phones in their pockets and enjoy the gig, and if not, they could leave, because it's about people at the gig being together at the gig. But even I'm even willing to go further. If I'm performing, I wouldn't mind just being in a dark room and getting all the crowd to look at each other, just so that they interact with each other and have a good time.
Yeah, point the lights back at the phones so they don't work.
Yeah. Everyone's faces shine up. But, you know, the interaction is the gig, isn't it? And if everyone's looking through a lens, well, that's zero interaction.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There's an artist too that has complained so hard that he stopped songs, and that didn't go very well. The fans didn't actually took it bad. Yeah, it didn't go well for the band.
That sounds like my old music teacher at school when people weren't singing hard enough, and he'd stop the song, and the headmaster would look horrified, going, as he'd go, "You're not singing hard enough. Start again." No, that's probably a bit too harsh, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think asking them politely, you know, you're here to enjoy yourself. What about talking to each other and dancing rather than...
You've also paid for it, so what's the point in paying for something and then standing there looking for it through your phone?
That's just rubbish, isn't it? It's silly.
You think there's a way of like strobing some kind of frequency light-wise that like you don't see with your eyes, but like it screws up the phone completely for pictures and video?
I don't know if that can do that, but I think what the bigger issue is that I mean, really, at the moment, that's the biggest way for an artist to earn an income is to perform live, right? So let's face it, because the actual physical copies of music is almost non-existent now, isn't it? I mean, look, it's actually quite strange. I mean, we're talking about, like, you know, Darren's got all his stuff behind him and CDs, and I'm talking about old cassettes, and I don't know, when you're thinking about this, right? We kind of cherish this stuff, don't we? We kind of hold on to it and go, precious. You know, like these things, they actually mean something to us. But today, I was just talking to my daughter, she's 10, and I was explaining to her, like, you know, she's got some people that she likes listening to now. And I said to her, I said, well, what's going to happen when, say, for example, that artist is only on the streaming platforms, right? Because we know now that iTunes is no longer, right? I don't know, it hasn't physically happened yet, but we know that they've announced it. So there's no more download platforms technically after that, and then basically you're just going to have streaming platforms. So what happens when the artist decides, well, I'm not going to pay my bill this year, and then all of their library gets taken off the streaming platform? Where do you find their music?
Well, exactly. I mean, for instance, it's an older iPod Touch. I think it's one of the first screen touch ones, and I think it's a 64 gig, and I can't remember. There's loads of tunes on there, loads of tracks, loads of albums that I got bought, and that's on that. And then I've got all those albums and stuff on CD. Now, if I lose that, I lose half the wall of that's there. But it's like, it's sort of almost meaningless. But if I was to lose all that, then that becomes like oh no, because you don't really actually own anything on there, do you?
It's not just that you don't own the music. I mean, downloading even to me wasn't good enough either. To me, it was there was the whole thing about, I don't know, I mean, CDs are better examples, and obviously vinyl was the best example because they were big. But it's the whole thing about the art. There was a whole, you know, it was it wasn't just the sound. There was the art behind it. There was what they wrote in these things, and, you know, it became... You know, it just became something a little bit more. And now, I don't know, it's just weird how the world has decided, well, we don't want that anymore. And they didn't ask me, because I would have said, excuse me? What do you mean we don't want that anymore?
Plus you don't listen to
it. Yeah, not to mention reading the lyrics.
Yeah.
Reading the lyrics, yeah. Exactly. And they might have photos of the band members. He might, you know, never knew that so-and-so was the bass player. And all of a sudden, oh, that guy, yeah. You know, things like that happen.
Or the producer.
Exactly.
Yeah, the producer, the mixers. Also, for instance, like vinyl, you buy an album, a vinyl album, and you put it on your deck, and you play it, and you place your needle on, and then you listen to that album. You get it on an MP3 album now, you'll just skip through it. You spend more time. With a CD even, you still can skip through it, but you're more inclined to listen to the whole album or a whole CD
and a tape
than you are with an MP3. On tape, well, you have to, but
you have to listen to that because it's painful to fast forward, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And if it's a mixed one, then you're a bit knackered.
Yeah. So I mean, anyway, so the conversation I was having with my daughter about this, she kind of got it. She understood it, and I think in a way it was kind of me just sounding off of her to myself. I was kind of think it was a bit of a shock moment. I used to teach. A subject at university called information systems, and one of the subjects I used to teach was digital memory. And digital memory is actually a phenomenon that we're worried about. Actual governments are actually worried about digital memory and the loss of information because everything is now digital and they don't have physical records of stuff. There's going to be technically some sort of disaster. It's inevitable that's going to happen, where there's going to be a whole bunch of things that are going to disappear, and whether a server crashes or a data center catches on fire, whatever, and it will take all the backups, and there'll be information that will just literally just disappear, and that could be a whole bunch of music, it could be a whole bunch of movies, who knows what it is. But the digital memory thing is something that I'm concerned about, and I don't know what you guys have to say about that. What are your thoughts?
That's already happened though, hasn't it? They've lost a load of original track. Who was it? Was it Universal?
Yeah, some major record company.
Yeah, they lost a hell of a load of original first take tracks by a lot of famous artists when it burnt down, didn't they?
So how does that work? Does that mean that means there's absolutely no way they can ever get that back, or does someone have a copy somewhere that they have to give it back to? What's the story?
No.
It's all gone.
They lost it.
The actual original, you know, the in the studio, that performance, that's gone. I can't remember it. What? Yeah, the masters.
But like really famous
in the
people,
60s
isn't
and
it?
I'm sorry, Inky, go ahead. Yeah.
Inky, you go, Michael. Inky, you go, and then Michael will go next.
Yeah, they were like really famous records from like everything from Whitney Houston and people like that. So it was a really big, major, like the main block of commercial records from the 70s to the 90s or whatever, and it just went down in a fire. Just recently as well, wasn't it?
And the backups went as well, did it?
Yeah, it's like Universal Studios burning down, but the record bit of it.
Yeah.
So all the masters, all the double masters were kept in the same place rather than, you know, two off-site, and even the artists don't have the originals, so it's all gone.
Michael, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say in the 50s, 60s, and even 70s, they reused tape all the time. So even people like Elton John's originals, the masters, they don't exist because they just wrote over them.
Wow.
They weren't precious back then. It's only in hindsight.
That's incredible.
So,
I
heard
about that actually.
Yeah.
I heard about this.
But I mean, who hasn't lost a video?
Sorry. You go, Michael. You go.
I was gonna say, who hasn't lost like a photo or video from an old computer? You know, we all have switched computers 4, 5, 6, 10 times. You know.
The same thing in the chat room's just saying it was CBS and it was Sheryl Crow as well who lost a load.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. CBS. There you go. And Charlie John is saying 3 years ago he lost his hard drive and all the music that he produced on there was lost. Obviously there's a backup story there, but I mean, I'm not just talking about backing up. I'm kind of talking about this thing called digital memory, and like, you know, we can, even like in that case with Sheryl Crow, but technically that could have been avoided if these companies had off-site storage, blah blah blah. But what I'm talking about is the future, and that if the future is streaming, if that's what the world wants, then maybe they're actually digging themselves a massive hole. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm very, very big about having something physical. I'm big about it, and that's why when I did my album, I made sure I did at least a CD. I mean, I actually do plan on doing a vinyl version of it. That's what I was asking questions about vinyl before. You know, no one's going to buy it, but I don't care. I'm doing it because I want a physical copy of it to exist. I've just got a bad feeling about this. I just think the future, something's going to give, and it's going to change the direction of what we're doing with all this digital age, I think. Yeah.
Well, I totally agree, but then I use that to my advantage. So once I've done something, I never keep it. It's only ever on YouTube. So if YouTube goes, I've got no musical history at the moment.
Right.
And I quite like that because it means, in my mind, if I've done it once, I can do it again.
Yeah.
But it's not a very good idea, really, is it? I'd quite like vinyl if I had my way.
Yeah.
CDs and.
So in my other job in the world, my wife's a photographer and I help her out with her photography business. And we often talk to her clients and we say to them, "Why do you want to buy digital files when you print your photos and they absolutely look beautiful?" And people are looking at photographs on the wall and they don't need to turn the power on, they can just look at it, it's there. And technically a photograph will last 200 years if you look after it. So we already know this technology's been around for 200 years. We already know it works. And it's the same with vinyl, and this is where this discussion went with my daughter, because we made that connection to photographs printed and vinyl. And how long's vinyl been around for? It's been around since the, someone will tell us, in the chat, 1800 and something, when vinyl first sort of started emerging, may even before that. And we know there's people that have still got old vinyls that are on those old, Megaphone type players that are still around. So what are we really inventing technology that we never really needed to invent? I don't know. I think it's definitely
I think I'm more optimistic than you though, Ranzee, because the digital copies, they're actually so much like what they came from that what you're recovering is so much closer, and it's more easily copied, obviously, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 places. So you're less likely to lose it, and reproducing it so you don't lose it is a lot easier with the digital as a file on any computer than the physical LP or a DAT tape. Like I have DAT tapes as masters from 30 years ago. Eventually, I'm not going to be able to get a player for it, to take it off. But the digital copy, I can forever, and I can copy it and back it up. And when someone's afraid of something being lost, as long as they backed up right, they have a recovery which is so close to the original, it doesn't matter. So I'm actually optimistic about the digital and the cloud and all that for digital memory. I think it actually is going to preserve things longer than it would have otherwise.
I think we should keep both. I'm definitely not against digital. Don't get me wrong there. I'm all for it because I use it. Darren, I'll come to you in a sec, but I was just going to say the big thing that I was kind of sort of trying to make, I had this guy come up to me earlier this year, and he just approached me through social media. He lives locally in the city, and he doesn't really know much about computers, and he's a musician, and he said, "I've just got a record deal, and they've asked me for copies, for WAV file copies of my music, and I've never done that. How do I do it?" And I said, "Well, have you ever recorded?" He goes, "Yeah, we record in the studio." And I said, "Well, let's ring up the studio and get the..." He goes, "Oh, they don't have it anymore." And I said, "Well, what did they give you? Did they give you anything?" He says, "Yeah, they did a CD for me." So he literally went to a studio, did a recording. It was all done properly and professionally, and it was released. And the only record he's got of that recording was the fact that they gave him a CD on that recording.
Wow.
And I just said to him, I said, "Mate, you don't know how lucky you were that you actually even just kept your CD, because if you didn't have that, it would be like, Sheryl Crow, that situation." And that's kind of where that was kind of my point. I'm not bagging out the benefits of digital, because I definitely love the benefits of it. I was kind of sort of thinking about the digital memory side. Darren was going to say something, and I'll go to you next.
No, all I was saying is I think we should keep both. I think you should run, improve the digital, also keep the old styles as well. Keep it in both worlds.
Yeah, have both. Yeah, Inky, what were you going to say?
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking with software and hardware, isn't it? It's the same kind of argument. Why do I need this piece of hardware when I could pretty much do really close software? It's just how you feel about it, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
you got to produce somehow.
Even if you've got a photograph in 100 years that lasts 100 years, no one's guaranteeing that someone's going to be looking at it anyway. So it's all objective or subjective, or one of those words.
Well, no one's going to buy my CD either. It's just sitting on that. No, but yeah, that's not the point. The point is, is digital memory, I guess, is what we need to be careful of. And, you know, obviously, I didn't even know about the thing that happened about CBS or Universal, whatever it was. And so there you go, it's already happened. You know, what do we as artists do? And I think Darren's probably hit the nail on the head. We do a bit of everything, don't we? If we produce and we produce stream and we get it out there, we've got to get our music out there somewhere. So we've got to go where the people are. So that's streaming platforms. But if we also do the physical stuff as well, there's people that like the retro stuff. Look, I mean, we were just talking about it half an hour ago when I said, look at the vinyl influence back in those music stores now. They've almost overtaken what's on the shelves for CDs. So maybe that's where it's going to head. I don't know. And the guys in chat. Sorry, you go ahead, Michael. I was going to have a look at chat.
I was going to say there's a related story that 8-Bit Show and Tell, which is not Dave Murray, it's a different channel.
Yeah.
He did a video today, put it out today, where there's a hidden track on an LP from the band Prodigal from the 80s.
Yep.
And they put the track after the infinite groove, you know, the catch groove that stops the needle from continuing.
Yes.
And it just spins around. They put a track after that, which is a Commodore 64 program. And he went through, he had to modify his turntable so it would be able to not snap back after the groove. And he recorded it and he put it on his Commodore and he ran it. There's this tiny little basic program.
Oh, wow.
It's really, really cool. So and it hits all of your topics here about, you know, digital memory and retro computers and vinyl. It's super, super cool. Plus prodigal. You know, it's really awesome.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, you guys you're all artists. Like, no matter how you think you are, you're all artists. I don't care, you know, if you don't think you're that good, Inky, you need to shush. You're good, okay? You're good. So when you're actually in front of people and they say to you, hey, look, I really, really like what you're doing, and I want to buy. What have you got? I've actually had that. I've had people, you know, come to me and, you know, I want to buy. What can I buy from you? Because I really like the stuff. And, you know, if I didn't go through that process where I made a CD and I did other things too, I did videos and things like that. So I was able to, you know, I'm able to send people CDs. I'm able to send people USBs with, you know, high quality mastered WAV files on there as a product as well. That's something that other people. That's what you were saying, Michael. You know, they like the digital stuff. There's a market for that high quality WAV files that aren't 44.1.
Yeah.
They might be 48 or they might be 96 or whatever they are. They're high quality. So people like that as well. And so maybe we need to, like Darren was saying, we need to do a bit of everything. And then if you scatter, you know, your work across multiple platforms, then that digital memory is less likely to be affected, is it?
That's right.
So what are the guys in chat saying?
T-shirts are always something you should be selling too.
T-shirts. I haven't got the T-shirts.
If you're performing live and don't have T-shirts, you're crazy. Like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I haven't got T-shirts yet because I don't do much performing. So, what about you, Darren?
Just in a scenario where you're playing to an audience and someone's asking you how they can support you. That's all I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Darren's working on some T-shirts.
Well, I usually do wear a DTH one or a hoodie, DTH and stuff on it. But yeah.
Fair enough. So in chat, Offworld saying that he jams and produces something and he can't recreate when he wants to make a digital recording. So that's something else too. It's probably a completely different topic. If you sometimes do you guys find yourself you're jamming and you've forgotten to hit record? You guys ever done that? I'm sure we've all done that. Surely you're just mucking around with a bunch of gear. Oh yeah, the modular, yeah. And then you have your happy accidents and you think, damn it, I forgot to hit record.
Yeah.
How do I get that back?
You know how I solved that problem? I turn the stream on and do all the jamming on the stream. So, and I did it because not to share with people, just so I wouldn't lose it and I'd have a place to go back and find it. Kind of like what Inky does.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Every idea, I didn't filter it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It is.
It's a really good idea.
I always recommend hitting record. So for me, it's Darren is probably the same. I hit record on Ableton before I touch anything. I don't care how long that recording is going for. I don't care how big the file is. I'll just keep recording. You can always slice it up later. So that's
I do that. I do that all the time. Also, the fact because I don't do a lot of jamming like you do at the moment. A lot of the stuff is I already have it in my mind what I want to make, so it's not quite the same. But if I do any playing on the Juno or modular, I'll just hit record in Ableton and then bring bits out from that I like or that came out. That's how I do it. Yeah, until I get my live rig set up, which is going to take a bit. But yeah, that's how I work.
Very good. Good advice for those who.
So Darren, do you run out of disk space doing that?
I haven't yet because I'll just keep what I want and then I'll scrap the rest, which I probably should keep. But I just find the bits that I actually like and keep. But I am starting to run through hard drives. In fact, I need another hard drive now.
There you go. Very good. Yeah. I don't have a problem with disk space because I mean hard drives are so cheap now. They are really, really cheap. I mean, even SSDs, those memory type hard drives now have come right down as well. So you can even have fast.
Not on my Mac. It's too much.
I hack Mac,
thousands.
So you should be able to do that, Michael. Yeah. You know a bit about that stuff.
I can, but I want to stay up on the latest OS, and eventually you're not going to be able to run the Hackintosh.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but my Mac Mini is it's how do I say it? It's hacked, but it's not a Hackintosh. It's an Apple hardware.
Right.
And I've gone in. I mean, those websites like iFixit, iFixit.com. You can go in and modify your Mac, and my Mac Mini just sitting over here. It's got 2 hard drives in it, and the thing is tiny.
And I do that stuff too.
Yeah. So
I do that stuff too.
You can hack your Mac without being a Hackintosh.
Like you take the super drive out of if there's a super drive in it, you take that out, put another hard drive in the same space.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, apparently they're making it harder and harder though with the newer ones.
Yeah, like there's no super drive in my current one. Yeah. It's from 2015, so I can't even do that. Sucks.
What they want you to do now is they want you to plug everything into it, like USB-C or Lightning or whatever. They'll invent some other one soon, surely.
No, Apple wants you to go in the cloud. They actually don't want you to do the externals. That's why there's less ports and less hard drive space.
Yeah, that's true. They do. They want your cloud subscription. They're digital. We got to digital memory. Let's not get back there.
No, I don't want to do that. I like me, man.
Yeah. But it's all good. All right. So we had some fun talking. This was called Saturday Sonority. I don't know. What do you guys think of that word sonority? Do you guys know what it means? Sonority. It wasn't a trick question.
Sonority. I don't know.
Sonority in music is a term for a collection of pitches that may be sounded simultaneously. And it can be interchanged with words such as chord or harmony. Basic sonority is a common practice in the tertian triad. There you go. So sonority is one of those words that has a meaning in music, and it has a meaning also in general life. So it means a quality or fact of being sonorous. So now you have to look up the word sonorous.
Sonorous. Sonority.
Sonorous is deep and meaningful, capable of producing a, deep and meaningful conversation, I guess. I think that's kind of what they mean. But anyway, that's what I'm calling this segment, and I think it sounds alright. Saturday Sonority. There we go. Well, anyway, I think we've probably got to the end of the stream, and everyone's been really cool. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If there's nothing else to add, we've had some good topics today. Anyone got some ideas about what we're going to do next week? Because we've done vocoders. 888 Berg's disappeared. I think he's gone to bed. Must be getting too late for him. Yeah, he's disappeared. So next week, any suggestions? Let me know. Other than that, I'll just make one up. You guys seem to be pretty happy with what I make up anyway. I haven't been told off yet, so I will run out of ideas eventually. So you guys have to come up with some. Like Triple Eight Bird came up with this week's, which was good. Darren, you were going to suggest?
Well, not suggestions. I was going to say, start off with a couple of ideas, but even if we run out of them, we seem to be able to fill out with lots of general chat about music or gear or whatever quite easily.
Well, I was going to suggest, I think you suggested it to me, Darren. The next week's topic will be that we're going to show the most useless device or bit of hardware.
Yes.
So I think it'll be fun.
Or software even.
Or even, maybe software. I think hardware would probably be better though, because most people have got a bit of hardware lying around that they bought and they think it's pretty useless. So let's not give it away, Darren, because I know what you're going to show, Darren.
No.
So
I've actually got, I've got more than one thing, but
well, you can show more than one. Have you guys got something in mind? Inky, have you got something in mind that's a useless piece of hardware?
No, because I've either thrown it up the wall or
give it
sold
away.
it.
Or give it away like your orbital box.
And that. Well, I kept what was true.
I'm not happy.
I'm sorry, Inky. That was good. That was good.
Hey, Phil Hartnell doesn't mind. He's still speaking to me, so you know.
What about you, Michael? Have you got something that you can think of that's a useless piece of hardware that you've got?
I'm sure I can find something that I forgot to throw away, but I'm with Inky. Like, if it sucks, I get rid of it.
If it sucks, you're not a hoarder. You're the opposite of a hoarder. What's the opposite of hoarder? Minimalist.
Yeah, I guess so. I definitely hoard the good stuff. So
yeah. So you guys in chat, you guys can have a think. You got all week to think about it. You don't have to come up with it now. So next topic next week will be we're going to show the most useless piece of hardware that we can find in our studio.
It doesn't actually mean that hardware is useless. It just is to, well, for instance, to me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not actually useless.
Yeah.
To someone else, it might be brilliant.
So you don't mean obsolete, right, Randy?
It can be.
I think really useless.
I think we can keep the the idea a little bit loose so that we can sort of venture into different tangents.
What doesn't work for you then? Hardware that you've got that doesn't work for you?
Yeah.
Oh, mine. That would be. I know exactly what I'm gonna absolutely break the internet when I show you what mine is next week. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a lot of people that will disagree with me and they'll be very vocal about it and they'll be like punching their fist against the computer screen.
Ranzee.
Oh,
I
think I know.
Have I got one in the studio, by the way?
I think you have.
No, you don't.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
What I was gonna...
No, I know that could come close. That I know the one you're talking about could come close, but this one you have never heard me mention ever, and So I'm gonna leave the stream on that note because I reckon everyone's gonna be so. What is it gonna be? My God, he's gonna break the internet. You guys are funny. Anyway, it's probably going to be a complete fizzle. It's going to be like, is that all it was? Nothing like a bit of hype, hey? What does what does that guy from Public Enemy say?
Kit, can't you?
Don't believe the hype.
You could do your best better kit as well.
You could, yeah. Anyway, everyone wave goodbye. Say bye bye. We're gonna stop the stream now and wish everyone the best for the rest of the weekend. See you later.
I'll have a good one. Bye bye.
Catch you later.
Bye.